Thank you for this opportunity to share our experiences, my experiences with LibreText. It's a great honor, and thank you for the kind words. Now, what I want to tell you folks, I know some of you, many of you are thinking, there's a textbook inside me. Well, either from scratch or curated, LibreText will help you create that textbook that is inside you. In brief, we started out with a completely new book because there just wasn't enough material to cobble together something from what's available. And then afterwards, we were able to slice and dice. The word LibreText uses is curate. And I'm going to turn off my video just because every once in a while it'll say things like, "Oh, your internet is unstable. Stop the video." Okay, so let's get started. That textbook inside you is just waiting to break out, and it wants to change the world. And LibreText will help you do it. It helped us for all the awesome reasons that you've seen here. Does this sound familiar? Many of our students were simply not buying the textbooks, and this goes back many years. So over the years, we accommodated that by building a class website with some sufficient materials that the students didn't need a textbook. Well, unfortunately, come on, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, my mouse is so sensitive. Unfortunately, the academic powers that be still required a mandatory textbook. No matter how extensive the website was and how rigorous, it's prohibited. And you might feel the same way at your institution, but our motto at Southwestern is, if it makes sense, we don't do it. So the students were required to buy a textbook. Now, when I was face to face, when we would go through the syllabus, I would say, "You are required to buy the textbook," but I'd be nodding my head back and forth. And I would recommend that they go look at ratemyprofessors.com, where a lot of students said, "You don't need the textbook. Everything he gives you is on the website." But still, we have to follow the rules. So the textbook was required. And it turned out a few students would buy it, especially students who were given the money to buy it. But it was outrageously expensive and pretty darn boring, to be honest. Good for insomnia at night. So we have two case studies here. We have the Principles of Money Management, which is the full spectrum of personal financial experiences. That was the text we did afterwards. That was the curated text, because it turns out there's a lot of material for personal finance. The other text was the Introduction to Investments. This covers the major investment alternatives, including securities, which is a fancy word for financial investments, like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, short-term instruments, derivatives, hard assets, such as real estate, tangible assets like collectibles, art, cars, commodities, such as oil and wheat, and of course, a very quick reference to personal investments, which is a nod to college and travel and the like. The material in this class is the basis of the Series 7 General Securities Representative exam, which most people call them stockbrokers, but the legal term is registered representative or registered investment advisor. And the reality, folks, it's hard to believe, but this industry is in dire need of new professionals. There's a whole lot of us old guys ready to retire or die. The insurance industry, for example, over the next 10 years is going to lose 50% of their agents to retiring. The stockbroking industry, the mortgage broking industry, tremendous turnover because of retirements. So we need new people, and we have 2 financial certificates and an associate's degree. And with those little tickets, you can get an entry-level position in the industry. Now, eventually, they're going to want you to get, if you become a professional, they're going to want you to get a 4-year degree. But if they really don't care, as long as you give good service, are not a flake, because you're dealing with other people's money, and produce, which is a fancy word for bring in more money. So the first one was from scratch. That's the Introduction to Investments. Searching through the myriad OER repositories, we didn't find enough suitable material to cobble together a freshman level introduction to investment textbooks. So we need to write our own. So the first few weeks of fumbling around are a bit of a fog now, but thankfully we stumbled upon LibreText. And my aha moment was, hey, this looks like Canvas. So we can embed our presentations into the LibreText pages. We can take the Canvas pages and not one for one, but as Superman was talking, there's a procedure for taking your Canvas and throwing it into LibreText. And luckily, the 2021 LibreFest perfectly coincided with the start of my writing. And when I saw Delmar's presentation, I was hooked. I said, this is it, because the liaison to OER, the librarian, said, oh, you need to be on at least 6 or 7 or 8 repositories. Finding out that there are dozens of these things, and all somebody has to do is kick the cord in somebody's server, in somebody's office, and the server goes down. When I read and heard and watched about how LibreText is multi-server, what other good words they use, multi-threaded, whatever several. What help me here? Fault tolerant. Hey, these are the best. These are the ones. So I said sorry to our OER representative. I said it's going to be on LibreText, and we'll put a link in OER Commons. Okay, so here we go. My initial fears, and you probably would fear this if you were to take on writing a text, is I would hate the process. I would hate writing the book, and I would hate the result. I wouldn't even want to look at it. Well, to my surprise, I loved writing the book. I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm especially proud of the fact that my wife, the retired social work professor and social work clinical supervisor, liked it. And my best wishes for you that your personal experiences are likewise. Because I always knew I wanted to write a book, but I didn't want to do it while I was still teaching full time. I retired from full time teaching. Now I teach about 1 or 2 sections of Introduction to Investment, sometimes the personal finance class. And I get the time to curate to update the book. Okay, so now, after a year of working with LibreText.org, it was time to create an OER textbook for our Principles of Money Management class. This is all this full spectrum of personal financial experiences. Luckily, this topic has plenty of OER materials. In fact, there's already a textbook with a very similar organization to our class. So I was already steeped in LibreText's system as a content creation system. However, I had never attempted to extend existing materials. So folks, I got to tell you, it took me all of one afternoon to curate the existing textbook. I bounced it off the other, who is now full-time instructor, took my place, and he was very, very pleased with the results. So it's there, folks, either for you to build yourself or to slice and dice, or as we use the word in LibreText, curate. So going forward, we're aware of at least 3 professors who are using the institution, at other institutions who are using the book. One even sent me, God bless her, a $50 gift certificate to Amazon. She said, oh, you can't believe how much time you sent me, because all the materials are also on the website. They're all the handouts, the worksheets, the answer keys, the commentaries, the study guides. It's all there. We need to reach, and this is something I initially did, and I really need to do it more often. I need to find some other people who are interested in working in this collaborative process, especially if any of you out there are technical analysis fans. I'm a fundamental analysis, and that's it. I don't do any technical analysis, and I think it's akin to voodoo, but it's a very big part of the stock world. And my chapter on technical analysis in our book reads more like a Monty Python skit, but that's my story. Other people are going to say, no, Paiano always doesn't talk about technical analysis is wonderful. No, it's not. We want to get started translating the text to other languages. We would really use some help with someone who is skilled at data mining and someone who is graphically savvy. That was one of my biggest problems with creating the graphs, and I have some graphs that look pretty good, others that not so great. And the graphics, my graphics, I make great stick figures. God bless Creative Commons. Got some great pictures from them. But it's there. It's there. We'd love you to read it. Just read the first chapter. See what you think about investments, about the difference between being an investor and a speculator or trader, and what kind of wealth you can build over your working career. Or maybe you want to get involved in the industry, especially you folks out there, because I know what it's like to be paid at a part-time level now. And so some of you, I'm sure, are thinking, maybe there's something else for me. Well, I got to tell you, there is a future for you in the investment services and the financial services, banking, credit unions, insurance, all the things that are around real estate transactions, title insurance, appraisers, the accounting, and then of course in the brokerage world itself. So that's my 15-second pitch here. So now it's your turn. That OER textbook inside you is just dying to get a chance to change the world. All of us at Southwestern Community College wish you the best of success. And there's my website there. Wanted something the students couldn't forget. Questions, thoughts, ideas? Did I go too fast? My apologies. Is anybody out there?
I have a question. One of our only holdouts at our college is a business faculty, and she teaches accounting, and she says that she just doesn't feel like there's enough OER content out there. Now, I'm not a business person myself, sir. Do you feel like it's something that she just needs to, like, if I gave her enough content and helped her build it out, do you feel like there's enough OER content out there, or do you think she's going to have to author a lot of it?
I don't know about accounting. I really
Okay.
haven't looked at it, but I've heard this before, and it's usually from people who just don't want to change.
Haven't had the exposure. Yeah.
They haven't had the exposure yet. I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised of what's out there, and especially with accounting. I mean, accounting is so important.
I mean,
Um,
I found lots of OERs myself, but I just thought someone like you're in a related field at least. I thought maybe you'd have some sort of opinion on like, oh no, that's really, really hard to do or something that I don't know. I'm a
I actually,
librarian.
I actually did well in my accounting classes, but when I left this last class, I said I ain't never going to do that again
Yeah,
unless somebody
Rachel?
put. I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah. First of all, we are in the process of bringing spreadsheets to
That's a big part
LibreTexts.
of it. Okay, you are cool. Okay.
Don't know the ETA, but it's something we have somebody working on this actively.
Yeah, I mean,
Secondly, in
go ahead,
terms of
sorry.
business courses, we've got about the business department at Prince George's Community College 2 years ago decided to go all LibreText, and we have about 20 books.
Yes, I've pulled all those. I think part of it for her is just a hesitation about it. And then as someone who's not an expert in the field, when she gives me an evaluation, I don't have a whole lot of arguments against it. So like I need someone else in the field to basically say like these are the quality markers or these are the criteria markers. Because as a librarian, she looks at me, she goes, well, Rachel, of course, these are all the links that you can pull. You're a librarian, but like she's looking for anyway, it's a whole other thing. But thank you. You answered my question. And I appreciate it. If you get the thing with the spreadsheets, let me know, because that would definitely be a good selling pitch for her.
Rachel, have you
Yeah.
asked her how many students don't buy the textbook?
So her textbook is insanely expensive. It's $160, and
That's
very
cheap.
few of it, but like they don't pass basically. And she has a large dropout rate, but she's been tenured for years. And she also runs our Rising Scholars program, and they buy the book for the inmates. So she also has half of her students who have all the book bought for them, which isn't helping her understand for all of our local rural students who really need it. And then we also half of them only want the first half. They want just the bookkeeping. They actually don't want the full 2 semester course. But yeah, she's my only real hard holdout. And so I'm trying to find someone within the world who actually knows the criteria markers and those like quality markers that I could help sell it to her. Because yeah, I have the list. I have a massive list of all the OER books already. The problem is I need like someone who has like experience in that world to help sell it to her. So
I pasted a link in. Oh, I'm sorry. Just quickly, I pasted the link into the chat that goes to the page of actually the individual that's creating the the JavaScript spreadsheet. that resembles Excel, resembles Sheets, but doesn't have like the superpower associated with it. But it has the same interface. So you can build in, here is a ledger, add this, add this, add this, and this will be part of Adapt. So you can use it as it. And the intent behind there is that you're giving students something that looks like what they'd be using in the real world, not just some modified aspect that doesn't operate like a spreadsheet and such. So we're very excited about this. Hopefully this will be available on Adapt in the near future, in near maybe 2 to 3 months from now. And then we can go through the books, like go through the OpenStax books and other books, and actually augment their images of their ledgers, which is a really poor accessible way in order to do things, into something like this that's super accessible and super powerful and exactly what students should be exposed to. So sorry, I think I stepped on Frank's toes there.
No, that's okay. I was just when it's saying, I forget I was going to say, my apologies, but I'm looking up. We don't have the OER OPU. Yeah, we don't seem to have any. I don't really work with the accounting professors that much. I'm semi-retired, as I said, but I do know other part. Well, here's one. Accounting. Well, here we have somebody who's using an OER.
If you have their name, could I reach out to them? Because basically what I need is basically like a success story from someone who actually teaches this course. And that's because, I mean, again, like I can send them lots of links. I found lots of OERs in accounting, but I need a success story from someone who actually teaches it using an OER. So if you have their contact information, I will cold email them.
Okay, so Rachel, can I
Yes.
get your email?
Absolutely. I'll put it here. I'll put it in the chat. I think I can chat with you directly, so I'm not taking over the whole thing.
Okay. All right. So any other questions? Any other thoughts? I want to remind everybody that I did wait until after I retired full time. I kept wanting to do this, and my wife would say, "Aren't you doing enough?" And then one day after I retired, I was sitting on the beach in Mazatlan with my laptop and just started typing and didn't stop for 6 months. Took a break for a month and then did, as Delmar says, the glossary and the index and all that stuff. I did that the second 6 months, along with lots of graphics and pictures and the like. Cool. Thank you so very much. It is such a great honor, and we wish you all the best of success for our students, for all our students.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so stop share. Okay.
Thank you very much, Frank. That was beautiful. And I didn't know that you had a second book. I thought you only had one on there. So I learned some stuff here too. And I think Frank may have shared his email address if he's interested in getting emails while he's on the beach in Mazatlan for this. If not, then hopefully Frank can share the PowerPoint files with us that we can then upload to the conductor page for you to be able to do so.
It's all on wonderprofessor.com.
There
all
you
of
go.
it.
So we can download it and then upload it to our central PowerPoint file. Okay, so anyways, again, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Josh, for the start of this morning.